As a geographer with very strong interests in tourism, particularly in marginal regions and among marginalized populations, this new book, Pro-Poor Mountain Tourism, is an extremely exciting prospect for me. I've looked through its table of contents, I've read a few of its chapters, and I am very excited and thrilled to be able to read it in the very near future from cover to cover, and I would encourage everyone to do so as well. Mountains are very delicate, vulnerable regions, as we know, and populations who inhabit mountain regions, particularly very high mountain regions, have also become very marginalized from society and from the chorus of states, economically, socially, politically as well. They have had to deal with the delicacies and the intricacies of mountain environments for many millennia, and they've done a great job of adapting. Tourism also has now become an important part of the livelihoods and social economic development in mountain regions, particularly high mountain regions throughout the world. And of course, with it have come a lot of challenges, not only for tourism and tourists, but also for those who inhabit the highland regions of the world. This book, and I applaud the editors for putting this book together. Michael Opalo, Jana Wengel, and Thomas Pogge have done an excellent job putting this book together, a very erudite version of where we are and where we need to go. It provides such an interesting account of conceptual issues, theoretical issues, but real practical problems and challenges, and how they can be addressed through pro-poor tourism of many different sorts. As I said, I'm really excited to see this book come to fruition, and I congratulate the editors as well as the individual chapter contributors for making this happen. I give my wholehearted encouragement and endorsement of this new work and hope that it will be as successful as we all think it will be.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about mountain communities, tourism, and poverty. As someone who has been in this field, particularly mountain tourism, for about 2+ decades, this is a very good place to talk about that. I'm here in Mount Whitney, and the village down there is Lone Pine. That's where I'm staying. Mountain communities are primarily marginal communities. And if you look at communities in the United States, some of the poorest communities live in states like West Virginia, Kentucky. And it's very true in the context of Asia, in the developing world, where mountain communities have been marginalized primarily because they are in peripheral locations, rugged environment. But they do have, these communities have a great sense of place attachment. And they live in beautiful landscapes. So it's ironic that people live in this such a beautiful landscapes environment, and yet they're so poor relative to most of the city-dwelling people. In many places, tourism has come as the savior to a certain extent, even though tourism has its own problems, which we all know. But tourism is one potential instrument, to address issues of poverty, development, and environmental management. So I think this is a great place for me to be talking about mountain tourism. This also happens to be the John Muir Wilderness Area. So I hope you'll enjoy the symposium, and I'd like to thank you to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to say a few words about tourism, mountain communities, mountain geography, and so on.
Mountains are alluring, addictive and evocative, and whilst many have been drawn to the mountains and other outdoor spaces for some time, for others this is a fairly new thing. A noticeable mind shift was observed during the global pandemic when people's only leisure option was to go for a walk, and in doing so they realised the mental, physical and social well-being benefits of spending time outdoors. We know that those who already had an affinity with the outdoors fared better during the pandemic than those who did not. So it's unsurprising that now we are seeing a significant increase in mountain tourism activities such as hiking, mountain biking and climbing, particularly hiking due to how accessible it is at home and away. In fact, outdoor recreation activities are fueling sport participation in many countries. It is no longer niche, it is mainstream. The growth in climbing gyms attests to this, and finally, we are starting to see it recognised in sport policy as well. People are also increasingly appreciating the benefits of less crowded places, including holiday destinations, and the authentic experiences that they can gain from visiting those quieter places by interacting with the host communities and immersing themselves in the natural environment. Another global social phenomenon we are witnessing is burnout in the workplace caused by chronic work stress, and many are seeking outdoor spaces to help replenish their physical and emotional energy. Quite simply, spending time outdoors makes people feel happier, and consequently, now more than ever, people are turning to mountain tourism. Mountain environments helps people to connect with nature and to value them, and this has also been found to fuel pro-environmental behaviour in people's everyday lives. Whilst individual well-being is important and well researched, community well-being is of equal importance and has received less academic attention. Communities will flourish when there is economic prosperity, employment opportunities, social support, reduced inequality, when people feel empowered and have a voice, when there is environmental sustainability, when people feel a sense of belonging and an attachment to a place, and when cultural heritage is respected and preserved. For disadvantaged mountain communities, pro-port tourism development can promote community well-being and address many sustainable development goals, including 17, which focuses on creating and maintaining partnerships for sustainable development, which is key when working with host communities and promoting community well-being in mountain regions. This book makes a significant contribution to our knowledge of mountain tourism. Each chapter examines mountain tourism's potential to be more sustainable, giving particular attention to addressing poverty and inequality through pro-poor tourism, thus promoting both individual and community well-being. I'd like to thank the authors who have contributed to this book and the editors for bringing an idea to life that others will now be enriched by. I would also like to thank you all for advocating sustainable mountain tourism. Keep doing what you're doing.
This is a short video focusing on the aspects of the Himalaya, its environment, economy, and tourism. The Himalaya, the world's tallest mountain range, serves as a vital link between its environment, the local communities, and tourism. Known for its unparalleled natural beauty, it is the home to unique ecosystems, diverse flora and fauna, and glaciers that act as water sources for millions. Its environment profoundly influences the livelihoods, culture, and traditions of the communities that inhabit its slopes. Tourism is an increasingly significant factor in this interconnected system. The Himalaya attracts trekkers, mountaineers, and pilgrims from around the world. Destinations like Har Ki Doon in Uttarakhand, Himalaya offer visitors the chance to explore pristine natural landscapes and engage with the local culture. Tourism creates opportunities for economic growth, enabling communities to establish homestays, serve as guides, and market handicrafts or local produce. It also helps preserve cultural tradition by sharing them with a broader audience. However, the rapid growth of tourism poses challenges to the Himalayan environment. Overcrowding, waste management issues, and deforestation threaten the fragile ecosystems. Furthermore, unplanned development can disrupt the delicate balance between nature and human activity. By involving local communities in decision making, promoting environmentally responsible practices, and encouraging tourists to respect the natural and cultural heritage, the Himalaya can contribute to thrive as a hub of environmental, cultural, and economic harmony. This interplay between the environment, local communities, and tourism highlights the need for integrated approaches to conserve the Himalaya while fostering sustainable development.
Really, mountain tourism is not explored so much. Till now, the problem is that a lot of policies should have to be formulated for the optimization of the tourism. And last 15 years, it has been started the homestay of the tourism, which is pro-poor tourism, especially that is done by women, because the household work is done by women, and in homestay they don't do the business, but it is the service. It is family business, and which try to give the glimpses of the culture of that proper local area with respect to the environment. In any case, Nepal is the environment friendly country. It doesn't want to have lot of tourism business, but still environment should have to be enhanced, should not be deteriorated due to the tourism, so that we always try to maintain the ecosystem, and which is eco-friendly tourism that is mostly preferred for the rural area of Nepal. Now it is the prime need for Nepal, especially in rural areas, is that we have to balance environment and we have to earn foreign currency to reduce the poverty of country, and also to give the supplement to the women.
Because of climate change nowadays, our Himalayan color is changing white into dark, and our glacier is melting so fast. At the same time, every year there are so many new glacial lakes what we have seen. August 16, 2024, in Everest region, Thangpo, one of the glacial lake was burst, and it has damages famous mountaineering Sherpas village Thame, including one primary school and one clinic. There are so many Himalayan community which is under threatened because of climate change in Himalaya, including Sherpa community. Sherpa is indigenous community in Nepal who lives high Himalayan region, traditionally Buddhist. There is interconnection between Himalaya and Himalayan community. What we believe is that if there is a Himalaya, there is Himalayan community. If there is no more Himalaya, then there will not be Himalayan community too. Well, in the Himalayan region, there are so many cultural heritage like a prayer maniwal, stupas, monasteries, the protectors mantras, carving on the stone, Those are all passes clockwise according to Himalayan culture. The people who come to visit Himalaya, there is not only climbing, there are so many things to see, so many things to explore, so many things to do. What we see, Himalaya is itself one of the open university where whatever we want, we can do and we can explore. But what we believe is that from Himalayan community, wherever you are, you need to respect the culture and nature.
I'd just like to talk briefly about the work of the Himalayan Trust there, and to talk about the alignment with that and the themes you're addressing today on your Global Justice Program on pro-poor mountain tourism, and at the same time congratulate Michael, Jana and Thomas on the fine volume of work that they have produced. So the Himalayan Trust in Nepal has been in existence for over 60 years, and it's achieved its great works by focusing on a limited number of villages in the valleys that stretch down below Everest, Amadablan, and the like. It's part of this. You see the Summit Challenge as one of our fundraising activities that you see there. And the principles that are espoused in the book are very similar to those which underscore the values of our Himalayan Trust. Ours are sustainability and empowerment, partnership and friendship. So we do nothing without, first of all, extensive consultation with local communities. The schools that we build with them, and there are 46 we have built now, are built in partnership with local suppliers, local craftsmen, local labour, so that they own the school. We just help them, stand by them as their friends, as their partners, and help them to build those schools, as we have with our hospitals at Kundi and our numerous outposts, and as with the world's now highest dental clinic, which we opened in Kumjong last year during the 70th anniversary of the summiting of Everest. So partnership, trust, friendship come first and foremost. Then creativity by working with and building with local knowledge. Transparency, governance, empowering local people, building support systems for them so that they can develop their own systems and leave. I guess our job in the long run is to make ourselves redundant. And looking back over the 60 years of the history of New Zealanders' involvement in this very important region of Nepal, there are some great milestones of success. The early doctors at our Kunde hospital were New Zealanders and Australians, but we've had our first fully trained Nepalese doctor, and right now our hospital there is run by a young woman Nepalese doctor. So 60 years is a long time to stand in partnership, because change does take a long time. It takes careful hands, it takes consistency and adherence to local respect and integrity. So the themes that I have seen in this report of governance and stakeholder collaboration, capacity building, climate change, adaptation and resilience, and all based on community empowerment and participation, are exactly the formula that is required. I would also like to offer these thoughts that tourism is but one path to livelihoods and resilience. But during my visits to Nepal over the last 5 decades now, I see that agricultural resilience is becoming more and more pressing. This is because, on the one hand, the increasing challenges and risks brought about by climate change, and certainly in the last month we have lost half the buildings in the village in Tame. We've lost our hostel, our school and our health outpost, and we now know that that valley is no longer safe to live in because of a glacial lake outburst event. And so underneath this, we have to be able to continue to feed and nourish local people. So education, water, health and environmental protection are our 4 programs of action. And I'd add, as a human geographer, a simple truth that I've carried with me since my undergraduate days, and that is you cannot have conservation on an empty stomach. So our first job is not to import foods or to change local diets or cater excessively to the needs of visitors, but to build the local resilience and agricultural capacity of local people. And so I want you to carry those thoughts with you. I congratulate the authors and the editors on bringing this book together, and I do encourage you to go quietly through each and every one of those chapters. And when you get a chance to look across at the work of the Himalayan Trust, that's HimalayanTrust.org on the web, look at the work that we do. Come back to us with suggestions or improvements, or look to ideas that may be able to be replicated in other parts of the world for the benefit of the poor people who find their livelihoods in those regions. So congratulations to one and all. Enjoy your symposium and carry on with your enthusiasm, passion, and good work.